Welcome to AtVenture DealFlow, the podcast where I talk to founders who are actively fundraising and the investors who back them. Today, I'm speaking with Caroline Lakshmanan, co-founder and CEO of Cloud Closet, a fashion tech startup transforming what it means to get dressed. Cloud Closet is a social shopping platform that makes outfit history the new search engine. Real looks, real input, real style, now searchable and shoppable. Caroline studied at Institut Français de la Mode in France and worked across France and the US since. She has been using her experience in fashion and tech to build a product focused on community, on sustainability, and on confidence in style. Caroline, I'm so happy to have you here today. So let's start with your pitch.
Yes, thank you, Lori, for having me. So excited to chat with you. So, our pitch, you gave me an amazing introduction, but what does that mean? What is Cloud Closet? What is a social shopping platform using your outfit history as a search engine? Well, today, what exists? What are the social shopping platforms that are Meta, that are TikTok, that are Pinterest? All of them rely heavily on our search history and our purchase history. And we had the realization that that's actually not enough. The outfit selfie itself has evolved immensely over the past 10 years, starting with blogs, moving into Tumblr, moving into street style and influencers. Our smartphones have paved the way that millions of people across the world document their outfit selfies every day. And where do they feel comfortable posting them? Yes, some of them post on Instagram or TikTok, but that's a format where your mom, your grandma, your brother, your uncle live. They're across all product categories. Why is there not one location where we can just focus on getting dressed? LinkedIn is social networking. Why don't we have a spot that's just fashion? It's the second most talked about subject across social media, but it deserves its own location. So we built Cloud Closet to help answer those questions that people have when they're about to leave the house. Should I tuck my shirt in? Do I need a belt? Which shoe is better, the right or the left? You don't necessarily need a stylist. You certainly don't need an AI stylist. You just need to survey your friends quickly or people. And that's where we built the format for Cloud Closet.
Great. So thanks, Caroline, for sharing that with us. I think it's a great idea because indeed, I also personally always, am asking my friends, indeed, like, okay, what do you think? This picture, this outfit, or this outfit? Trying on these outfits, sharing it with them, and then, okay, what is the occasion? Okay, and then, oh yeah, and did you wear it before? And so you have this kind of questions. So
Yes.
it's great if you can combine that all in one source where you can always go. So if I understand it correctly, it would mean then that. So how does it work exactly? So for example, in my case, indeed, today I'm wearing this. Next week I'm going to record another podcast. I don't want to wear the same thing, right? So, but how do I get advice and how does that work?
Yeah. So we wanted to keep this. We want to continue to be as simple as humanly possible. Simple, stupid. You're scrolling. You don't need to look or navigate. So we actually built from a viral TikTok trend where 165 million people, over 200,000 videos were created of people taking their outfit selfie, making them stickers, holding them down, making them a sticker, and moving them to their notes app to organize their looks. So looks for Tulum, flats look, shorts look, dress looks. I thought this was brilliant and was doing it, but was like, this is still tedious and cumbersome. I have to make the sticker, move it over, and then I can't share it. And then I don't get product recommendations based on what I'm wearing. I
Hmm.
was taking screenshots and sharing with friends, and everyone was like, what are you doing? Like, I would never take the time to do that. And I was like, we'll do it for you. That needs to be the onboarding. So just folks who are listening, there are $1 billion has been invested in fashion tech in the last year,
Hmm.
larger than AI stylists. And I just saw that humans want humans. Yes, AI is amazing and it's a tool, but I was like, how can we marry humans with AI? That's the factor. So I thought of onboarding and I was like, okay, why are there hundreds of wardrobe apps created too over the past 5, 6, 7 years? And they raise money and they go nowhere. And I was like, because there's too much work put on to the user of taking individual pictures of your items. You can scrape your email, but it often populates some junk back to you of like what you bought for your brother or your sister. It's like, let's just capitalize on the simplest thing, the selfie. We know millions of people are doing this. Our power users are doing it every single day. And just make it that we remove the background, so we're not even looking at your lifestyle. It's not
Yeah.
about where you live or how you live, it's just your outfit. For now, we'll see how that evolves. So you literally can turn the camera to yourself and just do it headless. You can turn it to the long mirror, cover your face, or you can put it on a timer and just take a selfie, upload it to us. You create a product description, and then you create your tag. It's like a playlist, like
Yeah.
Spotify. So same thing, I do Tulum looks. Uh,
Yeah.
you would do podcast
Yeah,
looks,
exactly. Yeah. Yeah,
and then
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you can see and share, etc.
Really cool. It's a good idea. I think it's a good idea. So, how about that? Did you do some market research on that? So, did you check if indeed people think this is a good idea? What can you share about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think building off of a habit existing trend was gold for us. So we knew the people were behaving this way. We built an MVP that we launched in April. We were using that largely as we were fundraising. So it was a web app, still exists, but we closed it to 300 people. I sent it to 100 people, and we allowed each person to send it to a few people, and we reached 300 within tw 25 days. And within 90 days, we have 5,000 outfit uploads, over 4,000 playlist titles, um, 3,500 comments and shares. So I mean, people just were asking, we need more social. We want social and we want app. So we scraped funds together. We've bootstrapped mostly, and we got in the App Store like 10 days ago.
Okay.
So we're
Congratulations.
thank you. We're still bare bones, but we're getting there.
That's great. So 10 days ago, you launched in the App Store. And how many downloads since?
We've got a few hundred, but I'm
Good.
trying to be quiet in a way because bugs, the tags weren't
Yeah.
working, notifications haven't been working.
Yeah.
Um, we
So you're
have a,
testing. Yeah.
but it's, we're people are part-time right now,
Yeah.
as you can
Yeah.
imagine.
Yeah. So about your team, so you say people are working part time. So you are the CEO. How does the rest of your team look like?
Yeah. So I have a co-founder. We went to undergrad together. He approached me 3.5 years ago and was like, there's something about this fashion tech industry. I hear you are obsessed with it, which I just kept like talking about it, how it's anyone's game. And so we partner together. He does mostly, the operations work, COO. We have someone managing partnerships. We have someone working on social. And then our dev team is based in Paris in the UK. Our design team is incredible. They've built for brands like Bottega Veneta and Goat, creme de la creme chic designers.
Yeah.
And, a lot of other freelancers along the way just helping make this vision come true.
Yeah. Cool. And you of course have a very big passion about fashion, right? So can you share a bit more? I gave a short introduction about your history. Can you share a bit more about your background there?
Totally. I mean, one way to think of it too. So I started my career in 2011 and in merchandising and buying roles. What is that? That's, building the assortments for stores.
Yeah.
And at that period, e-commerce was like an afterthought. So you have to realize like I've been along for this journey watching and
Yeah.
seeing, okay, the people who are building these shopping journeys are men. Mostly, just facts. It's engineers. And it was like, okay, now with the democratization of tech, I can get involved. But more about my background, starting in the merchandising and buying realm, I started at TJX, which is TK Maxx in
Oh
Europe.
yeah. Sure. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
That team was in Europe, and I did TJ Maxx Marshalls. It was my school of understanding how you build out a retail business. I did multiple categories. It was amazing training. Went on to San Francisco to do a short stint at oldnavy.com, and then went on to Sears Fashion, which no longer exists, but I bought junior girls product for over 2,000 stores across the US.
Okay.
Uh, and then I need to get back into luxury because I started it at Bergdorf Goodman, like interning when I was in college. And I wanted to be around craftsmanship and I wanted to be around trend and culture. That's why I got into fashion. So I went to Institut Français de la Mode so I could
Yeah.
get access to the maisons because
Yeah.
otherwise that's where the flagships are. And I speak French. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay, this is perfect for me to have an international career. So a year program and then did work at Celine in merchandising, collection merchandising, retail merchandising, understanding what that ecosystem looks like. I went to Christian Louboutin shortly after, which was running the men's Southern European department. My mother got sick, so I came back to the US. I was okay now, but came back for the direct to consumer boom. This was the time when brands were selling directly to consumers
Yeah.
online and revolutionary. Think
Yeah.
Away, Glossier.
E-commerce. Yeah. Yeah.
And so did consulting there. And then COVID hit. And it was like, oh God, what am I going to do? I've spent my whole career in like retail and I got really lucky. Buy now, pay later, fintech was burgeoning, just entering the US. And all these startups, similar to Afterpay, Affirm, Klarna, needed to get into brands and retailers. They needed to integrate. And who better to help facilitate that than somebody who's been a brand and retailer? And that was my startup school. I spent 5 years learning learning startups are for me, really. I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
"Okay,
Yeah. 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 This is what I like. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
but fashion just kept calling me. I was like, "I need to just get back." And it's not even like the fashion, it's just consumer product around what we wear. Like, I
Yeah.
don't wanna act like I'm this fashionista, that's not what it is. It's more like the cultural, anthropological aspect of why we buy clothing pieces and accessories, you know? And I learned the consumer journey, UI, UX, like, how do you work with engineers? How do you work with product managers, sprints? So after about 5 years, I was like, "I need to go into my own venture." Tech the stars aligned. Tucker reached out.
Yeah.
We've been working since 2023 on this.
Great. So then you combined basically your fashion and your experience now with startups into your own startup basically. So no, great, great story. How it's working in terms of your business model. How would that work? If I'm interested in using your app, how would that work then?
Yeah. So as of now, we're B2C, and so
Yeah.
investors don't like this, so this has been
Yeah.
exceptionally challenging. But
Yeah.
it's funny because in the fashion industry, like, that's actually what works. No
Yeah.
more are the retailers dictating the trends. It
No.
used to be when I started, Bergdorf Goodman, Barney's gone.
Yeah.
Like, they were making or breaking designers. Now today is TikTok.
Yeah.
It's
Influencers, TikTok. Yeah, that's what you need. Yeah.
Substack.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, it's hard to convince people of that, but we'll just
Yeah.
do it, that's
Yeah.
fine. So
Yeah.
right now we're running off of an affiliate model. So we partner with over 10,000 brands.
Yeah.
So we feature product recommendations. So Lori, you upload your selfies,
Yeah. Yeah.
click on the Cloud Closet icon, and there's product recommendations.
All
Now,
right.
we need those to be better, and that's where AI comes in, and we're working on that. So you come to Cloud Closet for discovery, not only social interaction with your friends, not only archiving your looks, but you're like, I can now be like, hey, I didn't really like those shoes I wore with that. I know I could do better, but like, what would it be? And your
Hmm.
friends also recommend. So we make, a percentage off of every recommendation. But, there are B2B partnerships that are surfacing. So as soon as we get our usership to a great place, there's opportunity for some forms of boosting advertising. We don't want this to be the next Pinterest or Meta with all these ads, but I
Yeah.
know really tasteful ways that we can do it. And then, partnerships with building white label for certain brands. A lot of brands have said, hey, we see this as an in-store tool to connect the sales associate with the customer in like a really fun, gamified
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Option there. Um, Dress for Success is a global organization that we want to work with and we want to build a specific solution. They help women in need. They get 1 hour appointment and they get 2 looks. How can we help Dress for Success make those 4 looks for the
Yeah.
women?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Opportunity for something there. We've chatted with Microsoft Shopping about featuring us in their Copilot, some opportunity there. So we just need let's get the users, all our power
Yeah.
users who are like yearning for this product let's get it in their hands and go
Yeah.
from.
Yeah. So right now you're actually in the stage that you're learning. Basically, you have your MVP. You launch it. You just launched it a few weeks ago in the App Store. Now you're learning from that. Optimizing and then really looking at your business model and see which partners you can use to scale. Basically, right? So that's what you're in right now. Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. And in terms of the real product itself, I mean, I imagine there is not an IP on it or how yeah.
That's a good question. Yeah, no, there isn't. The IP is the community. So,
Yeah.
people can and will try to knock it off in ways, but go to market. You can be an engineer and whip this up in 2 seconds. If you don't know taste, and that's what you keep hearing these days with AI, like,
Mhm.
can't fashion is emotional. And they are emotional purchases. So AI styling is just never going to be this like boom. Yeah, sure, it's
Yeah.
a tool. It's just like a little bit of help. But that's why we have Reddit. That's why Reddit is booming. That's why we have Yelp where people write
Mhm.
reviews, Google reviews. We need more of that in the fashion sphere. So, yes, you could knock off Yelp or Reddit. There's no same thing. We're just building the format, the ecosystem, the UI, UX, and then we have some really fun features coming up that, will be the first.
Yeah, exactly. So you need to take the momentum basically now to be the first in the market, really, and that will be your advantage in that sense.
Yeah. And one thing to think about too, Lori, is I hate harping on this, but it's so competitive. I mentioned $1 billion invested.
Yeah,
So we're the underdogs. Like, it's
yeah.
like when I'm up against people who have raised 11 million and 14 million and
Uh-huh.
$50 million. But I look at what they're doing, I look at the teams they've assembled, and I'm just like, we're gonna win. Or we'll
Yeah,
win in our own way, and there's enough market share to go around. And I think, but no one's found their footing, which is why it's challenging, because
yeah.
anything can be grabbed. But I think if you're watching closely enough, you know what we're doing. If you don't, then you're gonna miss the blind spot.
And in terms of the competition, so you say, okay, it's a competitive market. Is that really, are they all based in the US or is that also in Europe? Or,
Yeah, really good question. The US is insane, and
yeah.
I recognize that this is not the way that Europeans operate
Well,
today.
especially not in funding, I think.
No,
So
no,
it's
no,
more
no.
difficult. Yeah.
But even from a fashion perspective, like I obviously lived in France for 3 years.
Yeah.
Uh, But it doesn't mean we can't tap into that. And then, the Dubai market for sure. South America's massive.
Yeah.
But in terms of ownership, there's a big wardrobe platform in the UK that does really well. That's great. Um, there's one in the US that started in 2020 that they both have like 1 million users probably, which is amazing and is our goal. But I was using them and it didn't like satiate my need for what I was looking for. And I was like, all right, so how can I make it myself?
Yeah. Yeah. So you take
Um,
the good parts of them and you make it better basically. So
I
you
think
learn from them
so.
there. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think people are moving away from the traditional platforms. And I think we're all going to go off into our silos, perhaps,
Yeah.
of which ones resonate with us most.
Hmm. So I mean, what is then really your USP versus these very big platforms in the UK? So is it that you are more focused on a premium niche, or what is it?
Yeah. I mean, to me, frankly, I find those products to be feature factories. I
Hmm.
go into them and I feel like way too overwhelmed. I'm like, I don't know how to do this. Look, we're not perfect by any means, but the ethos for us is just like simple. I like don't even want you to have to think. They focus on separates, so separate pieces, and a lot of
Yeah.
people will ask me like, "Well, why don't you do separates? Can we have separates? Will it be?" The answer is no right now. Yeah, we're doing individual product recommendations, but I want to lead with the whole look, and like that's
Yeah.
how we're
So
going.
it's the whole outfit that you're
Yeah.
going for. Okay, so
Yeah.
that's different. Yeah, I'm gonna try your app, of course, and I'm gonna see and how that's working. So really interested to do that. So basically, in terms of traction, you quickly mentioned some numbers, which that already in the first MVP, yeah, showed some promising figures there. Is there anything else you can share with us in terms of traction, and where you want to go to in terms of revenue streams?
Yeah. I mean, I think I mentioned the main pieces of like the 5,000 outfit uploads, 80 people, power users every single day uploading was like amazing to see.
Yeah,
And then these partnerships that we're talking about, I'm really excited about and need to nurture. So there's a lot of moving pieces, a lot of things to do. But I'd
yeah,
say the market, $55 billion was spent in the US last year from just Gen Z and millennial consumers in the US who bought purchases via social commerce. So that means they bought something from TikTok Shop, Instagram, or Pinterest. It's a Despite what some investors may say, it's a huge market and it's run
yeah,
by women mostly. It's mostly women making there's like this research intensity that's associated with shopping now that people want more than Google, and that's why these startups have gotten this funding that
yeah,
they have, and we will just,
yeah,
produce the results. So we believe that over 3 years, if we reach just 1.2 million people, which we are confident that we could do, we would be looking at revenue upwards of $30 million. And that would be we'd be super happy with that. And we find that like a low bar of what we could achieve.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I can imagine in terms of margins, that's also quite profitable.
Yeah, lean team. We're
Yeah,
not going to expand. We can do what we need to do. The money needs to, like the raising piece to get there, just makes things more smooth in the sense of I know exactly what we need to do. Like
hmm,
clear as day, but I don't have it, right? So
yeah,
I think everything happens for a reason. And hey, we have more ownership. And I see the competition who's raised this, and I think you get comfortable, right? And I see it, and I'm like, I don't think they know what's happening because they're like,
hmm,
well, we raised it, and we built our team, and we have our office, and it's like us, we're like crawling, but you don't
yeah,
see it.
yeah,
And
yeah. If you don't have money, you actually most of the time make the right decisions because yeah, you really have to be very clear on what you do and what you don't. So it's not just okay, let's hire and let's do and whatever, but you're really focused, right, on a few
yeah,
things. Yeah, yeah.
like, look, we made mistakes with the little money we have. We raised, upwards of 100,000 via angels. So that's been amazing. But like, it's been spent over 2.5 years in dev. And like, okay, so one thing, we're talking about venture capital, right?
Hmm,
Venture VC hates that we don't have a technical co-founder. It's like
hmm,
very upsetting. But I see the teams, many who raise money without technical co-founders, some who have, and it doesn't mean anything. Like a technical person, does the other person know go to market really well? Do they know
hmm.
consumer? Do they know fashion? And the answer is like no on a lot of those questions,
Yeah,
actually. Um, so it's like people, there's no free lunch, as we say in the US. Like, okay, yeah, sure, a person could come in on the team. We need them to be the right person. Engineers are mostly men.
yeah,
What group of them are like super interested in fit checks and outfits of the
hmm,
day? A very small, small, small amount. So we're like, all right, let's just produce so we can attract the right client, the right person who wants to join us technically. And in the meantime, we need to pay people. That's just a
yeah,
fact.
yeah.
Yeah, no, we're partners. It's exclusive. The goal is that as we continue to progress, the more they'll be full time, 100%.
Hmm.
They have skin in the game, but
Okay.
yeah, they need a salary.
No, no, well, makes sense. I mean, everyone needs to be paid for what they're doing, right? Otherwise, it's not consistent at all. You mentioned, okay, we don't have a technical co-founder, but is that in the plans or what else? How do you envision your team basically right now? A small team, some of them working part time. If you would get the funding, how would you? What kind of roles would you hire internally?
Oh, of course, CTO number one. Just to put it out there, like I've been full time for almost a year. I left
Hmm.
my job, which I cannot believe it's already been almost a year.
Time
I'm
flies. Yeah,
like it just we're in the
yeah,
fall now.
vanished. Yeah.
I've interviewed single-handedly upwards of 3 or 400 different technical people from every corner of this planet. So I understand the pricing at each in every country, um,
Yeah.
understand what it would take to get a CTO to come in for equity and whatnot. We just haven't found the right
No.
partner. And I have top search firms in Silicon Valley waiting on deck. But again, they have ideas, but I need money. I have non-technical friends who've raised millions, and they have trouble in this realm as well. It's not unusual, but
Yeah.
being able to offer someone a salary with that equity is how you seal the deal in 2025.
Yeah. 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 Okay. So as soon as you have funding, you will go basically with a CTO. You will.
And then hire full-time
Yeah.
in-house people will
Yeah.
work. They want to. Everybody's
Yeah.
like asking me, they're like, "Can
Yeah. Is it
I'm like, I
in-house? How? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
can't
Yeah.
pay you.
Yeah.
Sorry."
Yeah. Fully understand that. In terms of, okay, you take going to 30 million revenues in dollars, right? That's what you mentioned. You have, like you mentioned yourself, there's different things going on. How would that division in revenue look like for you right now? If you know all the different things that are playing with potential partners, distribution channels, or really D2C, how would you see that channel division?
I mean, the way the revenue model is built right now, which, we're pre-seed, obviously, at
Hmm.
this moment in time, but things can
Yeah,
change in 3 months. They will change in 3 months, hands down. I hate this word, but subscription is a part of it. And what does that
yeah,
mean? It's not for consumers. It would be for these power users, this stylist function that we will be introducing over the next 3 months, um, that is democratizing styling. So a stylist in the middle of the country or, somewhere, and she has some clients, but she really wants to expand and she doesn't know how. She's maximized Instagram. She's maximized her TikTok capabilities. We're going to be giving her that platform essentially. And I think that's where the bulk of the money will
yeah, yeah,
ultimately, and then followed by this affiliate, these product recommendations that the app is offering.
yeah. Okay. About your round right now, your funding round right now. So you say, okay, 100K you raised from angels. The rest is all bootstrapped. Right now is the time that you need some more money in, right, to grab this momentum and go. So, what are you looking for right now, and what is the status of your current round?
Yeah. So I spent April, May, and June fundraising, just on the streets, hundreds of conversations, hundreds of "you're too early," just so you know what that outcome has been. And then but it's been amazing, like, the little guys, non-venture consumers, our users have
Hmm.
raised with us because they're like, "I see this so clearly. This is massive. Here you go," which is beautiful. It's kinda how you want it.
Wow. Yeah,
But,
yeah, yeah,
so now we're in September. I have a huge opportunity coming up at the end of the month around fundraising, so I'm not hitting the streets the same way I was because I just want this product. I wanna just continue to move it. But 700K pre-seed at a $4 million valuation is the magic numbers for
yeah,
this. Um, and that really, Lori, is go to market. Like, we need, like, right now, I'm just paying and, accruing debt, right? Like, essentially, to put on the events we need.
yeah.
We've done one, but we have 3 or 4 already planned. Like, they're not I'm doing them as cost effectively as I humanly possibly can, but there's only so much that I can do of paying
Because
for.
in terms of the events, because so that those are really live events that you're running, or
Yeah.
to
So
really
we're
get all the partners involved, or how does that look like?
So the events are panel, mixers. So yeah, I'm doing them for very little amount, but like 1,000 here, 1,000 there. And
Yeah,
I
yeah,
want
yeah,
LA Tech Week. We're doing in October. Venues are $5,000. Like, it's
yeah,
just we're doing the best we can. Um, I'm doing a big event in Paris at Institut Français de la Mode. I have to get to Paris. Like
Yeah,
all
of
of,
course. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's all these things that you need to pay basically, right? Yeah, and you don't
and
have
we
the
need
money
to
yet.
have
Yeah,
to get the eyeballs out there. But that's like minor things, really. That's the
yeah,
launch. Those are events, but then like partnering with the right influencers. We're not relying on them. We have some amazing, amazing, amazing ones coming up in October that could lead to this explosion. But yeah, they need to be compensated too, in general, all those little expenditures
yeah.
that we need.
Yeah, so you will spend it basically on your go-to-market, but also to hire to increase your team, right? To really
Exactly.
get everyone there on board in the right place, full time, pay everyone, so you really can fly. That's how I understand it. And your go-to-market strategy is also, I mean, you're also a global company, right? So, I mean, you're based in the US, but you work together with a company in France.
Yes.
And yeah, I mean, anyone could be your client in that sense. One question I have is about impact and sustainability. Yeah, because of course, fashion. Yeah, the footprint of fashion is huge. How do you see that, and can you support to make this footprint smaller with your solution? Is that something you thought about?
Yeah, for sure we thought about it. And one thing to think about too is in looking at our competitors, some of them have focused entirely on this, right? And like not buying new things, and that's not
Hmm.
built their business model, and it's subscription. And I thought, okay, well, my friends and I and my community, we buy every month something, whether it's used or new. I'm on the real, like getting these finds, Vestiaire Collective, Vinted, Depop. That's like what my friends and I all talk about. And then I know Gen Z is even more into thrifting. So I thought, okay, we know people are going to purchase. Let's just make it better. Let's make that
Hmm.
experience better and smarter and tied to what they actually own. Um, we're the only people doing that at this point in time where you are getting product recommendations based on what you already wear. You're able to look at your archive. And in my case, it's like, okay, I wear the same 5 things constantly.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
But I get to see it. And then I'm like, all right, so maybe you should invest in things similar to that.
yeah, yeah.
Um, how can I find those items similar to
Mm.
that? And then finally, we're partnering with amazing resale platforms, like niche ones that need more exposure. One's called Noisef Bazaar. It's super cool.
Yeah,
Your first resale partner. Rental. I'm bullish on peer to peer. In the US, it's coming. This company Pickle raised a ton of money and is super popular in New York. This company Borrow is really cool.
yeah,
I want to put their inventory in our index. So
yeah.
that's they're
Yeah,
different.
yeah. So you are part of making it more sustainable, basically. So
Yeah.
you're partnering with those, and I can imagine indeed if you, I mean, for example, I want to have this one in blue, rather than maybe buy five different things and in the end not wear it. Then I rather buy one in blue and wear it all the time. So in that sense, of course, you are also supporting in making the footprint smaller. So basically, your call to action is not yet going to the app or download to the store and download the app. We wait until you get more feedback, or
Get in there. Go download it right
we
now.
will
We
do it. I will do it anyway. But I'll say okay. Also, the
Yeah,
listeners, go to the app
please.
store and download the app, and then of course give your feedback, recommendations. And if you're an investor and interested in fashion tech, yeah, reach out to us or to Caroline for this great opportunity. So thanks a lot, Caroline. Really would like to thank you. My name is Laura Lancé, and this was AtVenture DealFlow. See you at the next great deal. Thank